Hey guys, happy Saturday morning. It is July 29th. Can you even believe the speed in which this year is going by? I cannot believe it. This time next month, we'll be getting ready to wake up in September mornings and wearing a light jacket in the morning, and there'll probably be Christmas trees at Costco by then. But anyway, Farmer John here is kind enough on this Saturday morning to help me go through tomato inventory. This is just part of it. I've processed at least 60 pounds of tomatoes already that are either I've made batches of sauce already. I've got them bowled up and put into the freezer. I'm getting ready to cook down another batch today. I have to go through my preliminary round of roasting, so I'm washing tomatoes for that. And unfortunately, something came in with fruit flies and it's wiping us out. So I have my little fruit fly trap set up, and right now we're separating the good from the bad. So I'm gonna show you what we have and what tomatoes I've been able to hand pick for today's salad. And let's turn you around and check it out. Well, the disaster that comes in when you're a gardener and you have to just accept it, that your house is not going to be clean for a while. This is a batch of what went bad from fruit flies. It was a variety of cherry tomatoes and Thorburn's Terra-cotta. John loves these, but they go bad so fast. They are not long standing. But right now, here's our big variety of slicers that we're able to choose from, and I've got to cut them down because the fruit flies are starting to get at them. But I have beautiful Brandywines, Dr. Wyche's, Hungarian Heart, Classic Beef, Kellogg's Breakfast, a bunch of mortgage lifters, which are turning out to be big producers. There was a ton of zucchini. I have so many eggplants back there on the vine. I don't even know what to do with them. I have a few black beauties. We were actually able to harvest a dragon egg cucumber yesterday. The cucumbers look like they want to try to recover, but wow, is my table a freaking disaster, okay? Got a few peppers here I can process, so we're trying to get it together. We had to move everything off of the back windowsill because things were cooking. So the process is whatever is getting ready to get washed and go into cooking process goes into this bowl, and that stuff that was harvested more recently that you can see still has to go through a little bit of a ripening process. But look at those Jersey Devils. Man, I'm telling you, I cooked several of these. This is a fine tomato. That is a fine tomato. I highly recommend Jersey Devil for roasting. Really delicious. So right now I'm washing some tomatoes that are getting ready to go into the strainer here, and so I'll wash them, put them in the strainer, and then I put them on a towel and let them dry, and then they're going to go into the oven for processing. But here's what I hand-picked for today. A beautiful classic beef. Let's see. Almost a pound, 14.6 ounces. That's going to go on today's salad. And this beautiful Kellogg's breakfast. 1.52 pounds. Wow, a pound and a half. Oh my gosh. So that is a beautiful tomato. And I have to tell you, this is a beautiful, pristine, flawless tomato. Oh, I love the yellow tomatoes. These are my favorite ones, you guys, are the yellows. They don't bother my stomach. I just find their flavor to be balanced and really incredible. But I'm enjoying the classic beef this year. This is another really beautiful tomato. It's very red and juicy inside. Really delicious and good for you. Yeah, so if you're seeing fruit flies coming in, it's a sign that something's bad. Maybe there's a cracked tomato. You got to find the source and start cleaning it out, or they'll take over everything else that you're bringing in, and you have to put the fruit fly traps out. So I'll attach the link for the video that I made last year of how to make a quick DIY fruit fly trap solution, so you can conquer that. But it's going to happen. You know, there's nothing you can do when you eat fresh food with the fruit flies. I don't know anybody who doesn't manage to get fruit flies with this level of fresh produce all over their counters. So we're working on that today. What else happened? Yesterday, this wacky bird came to our backyard. You guys, I don't know if it was a heron, a baby heron, a variety of heron that doesn't normally live here. It might have been some kind of a kingfisher. We'll insert the video so you can see what that was. And then last night, randomly, at 12:30 at night, John went down into the basement because we had a big rain. And So it really wasn't that random. He went down there because it rained, and we like. I'm tired. We check the house when there's big storms. He went down into the basement, into the unfinished space, and found a 2-foot long snake, which we've never had a snake in our house before. We've never even seen a snake on this property. So between crazy birds and snakes and all the bugs and blazing fire, lava like sunsets, I mean, wow. It's hard to wrap your brain around everything. So I was just having a gripe session of how tired I am and how I'm going through terrible burnout right now. So bear with me as I make some of these videos and I ramble on if it seems like I'm a little toasty, because I'm definitely toast, fried, cooked, sauced, whatever you want to call it. I need a break. Mr. Handsome Face, did you come see me? Did you come and see me? Hello. Hello, Mr. Man. So sadly, this is our waste pile. I wish I knew someone that had some farm animals that would want to take them, but I do not. So, but right now, Farmer John's going to pick through some of these tomatoes that are on the table because he wants to have a fantasy dish of large tomato slices in all different colors where they can be spread on the plate, and he's just going to have a plate of tomatoes. And wow. What a blessing for him that his belly can actually handle something like that, because my belly cannot. So his first choice is a Thorburn. Now I keep saying Thorburns. I'm adding an N in there, but it's not. It's Thorburn's Terra-cotta. There are some black beauties over here. Did you want to?
Yeah, definitely.
I think.
Grab
I think this guy here.
Is that ready?
Yeah, that one looks ready.
That's great. Yeah.
And then I have I have a small mortgage lifter here.
Yep.
That's ready.
Let's grab it if it's ready.
And I think that there might be, there's definitely Parks Whoppers, and I know that you want to get some color on there, so let's keep searching. Here's the start of my salad, and I just realized I forgot to put my black olives on there, but Farmer John's going to have his salad shortly, but for now he wanted to have a fantasy tomato rainbow dish of just like a pre-lunch snack. And wow, doesn't that look incredible? Let's see what he thinks of this. Farmer John's sitting down with his plate here that I made. So look at all this craziness all over the table. So the lineup was Mortgage Lifter, Dr. Wyche's, Black Beauty, Parks Whopper, and Thorburn's Terra-cotta. And right now he's tasting them without any salt. So, he's trying to decide how much salt really enhances the tomato experience. And he's sitting here in tomato land and still agrees that the skin on the Thorburn's Terra-cotta is just a little bit too tough. So
I'm going back for the Thorburns with salt. So a little bit of salt on there now. Wow. So it's a flavor explosion.
Is it really? With salt?
With salt. Mm. Yeah, that's good. That's really good with salt.
I personally don't know how his stomach is managing it. I would have acid indigestion to a point where I would need medical intervention. But that's just your Parks Whopper.
All right, no salt. An immediate blast of tomato flavor.
And, for those of you who are just, starting to follow along, we talk about the Parks Whoppers tomatoes all of the time. And it's Whopper, like a Burger King Whopper, like WHOPPER, Parks Whopper. And you can get that tomato through parkseed.com. It is a hybrid tomato. It's the only hybrid that we're growing. So now he's going to have it with salt versus the one he just had without salt. He's experiencing tomatoes, and in my mind, I'm experiencing that.
Oh my God.
It's so good.
So, the Parks Whopper with salt. Once again, the salt just enhances the flavor. It almost tastes as though I was eating a Whopper. It's so meaty.
We're not big on salt though, you guys, so I don't add a whole lot of salt to our food, but when I do use salt, here's the brand I use. It just is not as tangy. There's something about, you know, you can't really buy cheap salt. And the Kirkland products from Costco, they private label stuff with, you know, good sources of places where they get their items. So this salt does not supply iodine, a necessary nutrient. So
Sea salt.
yeah, it's sea salt. So now he's doing the Thorburn or the Black Beauty.
This was brought to you by the sea. All right, so.
Black Beauty. And you can see when you cut into the Black Beauty tomato, you guys, like here's a Black Beauty that is not finished being ripe yet. It's still got some green on it. And as they ripen, they do split and crack, so be prepared for that. But you can see when you slice into it where the different, like how the colors go actually through the tomato. So when you eat the part that's like at the butt, it's a lot more bright than the rest of the tomato that's cut from the top. So the next one that you're eating, the next slice of Black Beauty is from the middle. The first one that you had was from the butt.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's going to, if the color
If it enhances it.
enhances it, yeah, so.
Could be. So with salt. Okay. So in our last review, we talked about the Black Beauty being really subtle just by itself, and then that last punch of sweet still has that last punch of sweet with the salt, but what the salt does for it is enhances the flavor so much that it gives you that normal tomato flavor.
Oh, okay.
So that's really actually pretty good.
Okay.
But I do like the subtleness. It's still a subtle taste of tomato, not a really huge tomato flavor, but still good. All right, Dr. Wyche's.
Yeah,
Okay, no salt.
I like Dr. Wyche's, you guys. I like the yellow tomatoes. It's usually sweet.
So good. Yeah,
Sweet?
it's so good without it. Yeah, so good without the salt. Let's try it with salt.
And the texture of the Dr. Wyche's is like a melon. It's like you're biting into like the texture of cantaloupe. And we have so many tomato varieties here that are, you know, that we haven't done a taste test on yet, but I noticed that the Brandywine and the Abe Lincoln have a texture like watermelon. Really beautiful.
Beautiful
Dr.
texture.
Wyche's with salt.
With salt, yep. Dr. Wyche's probably is my favorite tomato right now.
Wow, really? So last week it was the Black Beauty and the Thorburns, but now you like the Dr. Wyche's? I love the Dr. Wyche's.
And Dr. Wyche's with the salt on it. Wow, what a flavor power pack. So just a little bit of salt. I'm not throwing a bunch of salt on there, but it's so good.
Dr. Wyche's.
Skin's nice, good flavor.
Beautiful heirloom tomato.
Smooth, absolutely smooth, beautiful.
With this is normal for cat facing of an heirloom tomato like this. Really beautiful.
Now here I have a random piece of tomato. I'm not sure what that was.
That is not random. That is
Because I'm missing one then. Which is fine, I can take, it was at the end here.
yeah, there was 3 across the top.
I
forget already what I cut. Do you remember, you guys, what I said that I was cutting into? I can't remember now. Are they Brandywine? Is it Brandywine?
Maybe. Let's. So I'm just going to cut this in half. I
Okay.
think I might have cheated myself out of
Oh no.
one of them. That's okay.
No, that's the other one there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
there was three rows across the top.
All right, there we go then.
So, what did I cut, you guys? I don't think it was a beefsteak. Was it a Brandywine that you cut?
Oh my God.
I think it was a Brandywine, or was it a mortgage lifter?
Oh,
It was a
just-
mortgage lifter.
Well, just by itself, it's delicious.
It was mortgage lifter.
Okay. No. Just by itself, the texture's perfect. You know, you're not getting that mealy flavor. It almost looks like it could be mealy, but it's not. I'm gonna hit it with some salt, but I almost feel like it doesn't need it. But let's see what the salt does for it. All right, that's enough. By the way, guys, I'm having a lot of salt today. This is not normal for me, but still good.
I can't believe I forgot already what I cut into. I mean, the few of them are obvious, but we have so many extra large tomatoes here. Like, look at this Abe Lincoln. Look at this tomato, all over a pound. This is a huge tomato. So I can put it out on the table, and like 2 minutes later, I literally forget what I just cut into.
Here it is. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was a mortgage lifter for certain. I happen to like the pattern of the way the mortgage lifter grows, you guys. It's growing beautifully. It starts off real slow. Like I kept saying, when's mortgage lifter going to show up? It had blossoms, but it wasn't producing any tomatoes. And then all of a sudden, they all produced at once. They have beautiful fluted shoulders. The mortgage lifter is a gorgeous tomato. The texture inside is very smooth. It has minimal seeds. And it will stay green on the top until the very, very end. I mean, the bottom is starting to get soft, so if you needed to cut into it, you could just cut the shoulders away unless you don't mind the green part. But this part of the tomato is so delicious, very meaty, very few seeds, very juicy, and beautiful smooth texture that melts in your mouth. So what did you think of the difference between mortgage lifter with and without salt?
So I didn't think it needed the salt, but adding the salt increase the flavor tenfold. It was so absolutely incredible. The salt really made it pop in your mouth.
Wow.
Very delicious. Very delicious. Mortgage lifter is really good
out of these tomatoes, what today is your favorite tomato of the day? Still, would you say Dr. Wyche's?
I'd say Dr. Wyche's was number one. Its overall feel in your mouth, whether it's salt or salt-free, excellent. And then I would say the mortgage lifter. So the mortgage lifter just really took off with salt. Salt just gave it such a huge lift, but not that it needed it. Then I'd say Black Beauty, Whopper, and then the Thorburns Terra-cotta.
So we're trying to decide what it is that I actually want to use to take up real estate next year, because we had 20 varieties of tomatoes this year. And I'm debating, what is it that I need to grow? But the biggest problem with the Thorburns is, so sorry for Aki the screaming parrot in the background. The Thorburns Terra-cotta for me is not worth growing because you have to pull it off, and when you pull it off the plant, you have to eat it immediately because it goes overly ripe far too soon. It's very, we had high waste with the Thorburns. Now, when I say I won't grow it, I'll probably grow one plant instead of 5. So most of my tomato varieties this year, I grew like 5 varieties. So you can see, yeah. And if I press on that too hard, it'll just explode. It's kind of disgusting. So yeah, so this is what happens because we had extreme weather. So it took up too much water, and it didn't get blossom. There's not a single one of these heirlooms that had blossom end, not one. But they did get wet spots where they just took up too much water. So totally out of our control. Even the best of growers, you can't avoid these things happening. Now, I could probably cut parts of this away, but I literally have hundreds and hundreds of tomatoes right now. So I'm just not going to stress myself out about that. I grew extra because we knew that we were going to have issues. So, but anyway, you guys, I don't really know what this video was about, but I think it's turning out to be about a screaming parrot and
eating
tomatoes with or without salt. So anyway, you guys, thanks for tasting tomatoes with us today on this Saturday. I hope you're having a great weekend.
One more point about the Thorburns is that the skin is really tough.
Oh yeah, don't forget the Thorburns. Yeah, the Thorburns has tough skin, and it ripens and it doesn't stand very long. So, but for me also the big winner out of these guys is the Dr. Wyche. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, my ears.
We'll see you in the next video, guys.
I do not even know what I'm looking at right now. Maybe a kingfisher? What the hell? The birds are freaking out. Oh! What is it? Maybe it's a baby heron. It's on the net.